How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Rangers Rundown. An exciting win tonight, one that I'm sure a large majority of the fan base thought the Rangers were going to end up dropping, but they come out victorious, beating the Florida Panthers 5-2 on home ice and clinching the season series between these two teams 2-1. So let's hop into it. Kakko, Hunt, and Fox all still out of the lineup, so the lineup has some familiar faces in the bottom part of it. Kreider, Zibanejad, Lafreniere, Panarin, Strome, Hunt on that second line. Barron, Goudreau, and Gauthier makes up a third line that we haven't really seen before, but they did play well. McKegg, Rooney, Reeves on that bottom line. We've seen that before. Miller, Trouba, Lindgren, Schneider, and then Hayek, Jones. I still don't know why Hayek is on this team. He should just not be on it. I don't know how much he played in the third period. I really don't think that much. So if that's not a warning sign, I really don't know what is. And then Shesterkin in net. 35 seconds into the game, Zibanejad. He tries to pass it through the slot to another Rangers player, ends up deflecting off of Forsling's stick and into the back of the net. So 35 seconds into the game, Forsling has an own goal. The Rangers are up 1-0. Fourth line has 2 deflection chances in one shift shortly after that. So fourth line buzzing around the net early. Florida's top line, full shift in the offensive zone. Shesterkin saves a knuckle puck. This Florida team just looks so good. And there's a reason they are first in the entire league right now. Their forecheck was unstoppable for the first part of this game. Just truly unstoppable. 9 minutes and 20 seconds, Tippett scores a goal. It was an odd man rush. Jones and Hayek were the defense pairing on the ice, so no wonder. But the Rangers challenge for offsides, and they win that challenge. So that goal comes off the board. The Rangers are still up 1-0. Halfway through the period, shots 5-2 in favor of Florida. Their forecheck, it's just so fast at generating that first chance. They just come straight through the neutral zone. They're in your zone, and then they get a shot off as soon as they can to try and catch you. The forecheck just, does whatever it can do to generate that first chance. And that's usually the chance that's going to end up going in. 10:44, Duclair would score a goal. So the Rangers end up erasing a goal off of the board, but it only takes them 1 minute and 24 seconds to score one back to get it tied 1-1. It was off a rush. Hayek missed his assignment. He didn't see Duclair coming. He was able to walk right into the circle and just rip it right over Shesterkin. Rangers went 8 minutes in this first period without a shot on goal, but they finally did get another one. Shesterkin, a great save on a Vetrano deflection. 5 minutes left in the period. Kreider has a partial breakaway. Miller has a slap shot that leads to a Florida odd man rush, but Shesterkin would end up stopping that. 16:48, Montour takes a tripping penalty. And the power play was fine. It was nothing special. The power play definitely got better as the game went on. Power play ended up scoring on their final 3 chances of the game. But early in the game, it didn't really look too hot. Didn't really look like it was in its regular form. The Rangers, pretty lucky to leave the period 1-1. Shesterkin bailed them out a couple of times, and then, of course, they had that successful challenge. Shots 15-7 in favor of Florida. So in true Rangers fashion, they're sticking in the game while being outshot almost 2-1. So there you go. Second period, 1 minute and 13 seconds in, Miller takes a holding penalty. And just over a minute into that power play, Reinhart would score a goal. Barkov blasts it off the post. It bounces off the post, off the back of Shesterkin, bobbles in the blue paint. Reinhart able to tuck it away. McKegg tries a backhand shortly after that. He had a couple of close calls around the net tonight. He's sniffing for another goal. 3:27, though, the Rangers answer back. Lafreniere with a very nice backhand shot right in front of the net. 4.5 minutes in, Miller slap shot leads to a crease scrum. Miller, fresh off of his game-winning goal against Seattle the other night, he was sniffing for another one as well. I think that goal gave him a little bit more confidence. He's going to start shooting more from the point, and he definitely did tonight. 5:15, Gudas takes a tripping penalty. Power play 2, the second unit, gets over a minute of time, which we don't normally see. Power play 1 stays on there for as long as they can, and then power play 2 kind of cleans up the loose change. Power play 2 gets more time on this power play, but neither power play team able to generate any shots. Reeves has a close call on a Florida offensive zone turnover. 7:54, Lindgren takes a slashing penalty, and that penalty kill was pretty good. Rangers still have a top-tier penalty kill, and they showed it during that penalty kill. Trouba and Kreider, they have a double hit on Marchment, so both of them hit Marchment at the same time, and he goes down to the ice awkwardly. He's shaken up. 10.5 minutes in, Trouba drives to the net, and then Kreider gets the rebound and is completely robbed by Spencer Knight. If you look at the board, you know, the last goal was an empty net. Spencer Knight lets in 4 goals on 35 shots. So not an awful night, but definitely not a fantastic night either. But that rob that he had on Kreider halfway through the second period was very good. 8.5 minutes left. Hayek has a very bad shift. I just thought that was worth noting. 14 minutes, Barron takes a tripping penalty. Zibanejad almost sprung Kreider for a shorthanded breakaway, but the pass was a little bit too far. 16:46, Verhaeghe takes a tripping penalty, and less than a minute into that power play, Kreider scores his 32nd goal of the season. 16th power play goal. 16th. Wouldn't be his only one of the evening either. Shesterkin passes out to Panarin. Big stretch pass to Strome. Strome, saucer pass across the slot to Kreider, puts it in the back of the net. Trouba stops a breakaway shortly after that. Reinhart would have put the puck, he beat Shesterkin and he would have backhanded it into the net. Trouba able to get there and lift the stick to get rid of that Reinhart chance. So Trouba saving a goal. Strome gets a shot from the slot and then gets knocked to the ice by Marchment. Now, Strome remembered that hit in the third period, and that led to them fighting. So that hit in the second period cascaded into a fight in the third. After the horn, everybody finds a dancing partner, and these teams are just, I'm sure they're not saying nice things to each other. And I said, there's gonna be a fight in this third period based on how they were talking to each other at the end of the second. And it turns out I was right. Shots 15-12 in favor of the Rangers. So in not Rangers fashion, they come back in the second period and outshoot their opponent. It's very nice to see, especially against such a deadly team like the Panthers. But this is a weakness that they've had this season. If the Panthers get to spend a lot of time in the offensive zone, they are going to beat you. They just score too many goals. But if you can force them to play in their own zone more often, they let in goals. They can just usually outscore their trouble unless you prevent them from getting into your zone. And the Rangers did that tonight, especially in the third period. Fourth line starts the third period, which I thought was a little bit of a kind of to the Panthers, just we're not scared of you, bring it on kind of thing. 3 minutes in, Rangers completely controlling play. I don't think the Panthers had any sustained pressure in the first 3-4 minutes. 5:18, Strome and Marchment get together and they fight, and Strome won that fight. Did he ever? Marchment ended up getting a shot in. Strome was icing his face in the penalty box, but Strome got a couple of really nice punches in on Marchment. Payback for that hit in the second period. Gaudreau and Zibanejad have a 2-on-1, but that is fought off, so no chance generated from that. Fourth line almost connects. So even though the Rangers are hanging on by a thread in this game against a very deadly team, Gallant is rolling all 4 lines. Halfway through, shots 5-3 in favor of the Rangers. So Rangers outshooting the Panthers and holding them off to only 3 shots. Doing a great job stopping the Florida forecheck, which is the deadliest part of their offense, how fast they can get into your zone. 13:42, Marchment takes a high sticking penalty, and this would be the downfall for the Panthers because less than a minute into that power play, Kreider would score his 33rd goal of the season, 17th power play goal, both of which lead the NHL. Kreider leads the NHL in goals and power play goals. If you said that before the season begun, we would have laughed you out of whatever city you're in. Zibanejad completely threaded the pass between the legs of a Florida player, just between the goalie and another player. All Kreider had to do was stand there with a stick, and it bounced right in, and he knew. He stood there after the goal went in, he just smiled. It's like, easiest goal he's going to score all season. Zibanejad, perfect pass right on his tape. With about 3 minutes left, Florida pulls the goalie, and then at 18:23, Barkov takes a tripping penalty, and Huberdeau is frustrated. He slams his stick on the ice because he knows the game's over. You're already down by 2 goals, and you take a penalty in the last 2 minutes. Yeah, you're not winning the game. Before the Barkov tripping penalty was called, there were a couple of Gaudreau hooking penalties that were missed. So I think that's going to add a little more sting if you are a Florida Panther fan, because there probably should have been a penalty call against Gaudreau, and maybe they fight back and score 2 late goals to tie this game. Even with a team like Florida, that's asking a lot. I think the Rangers still win if that happens, but it could have been a completely different game if the refs didn't miss that call. 19-19, Panarin scores the very rare power play goal empty net. So an empty net power play goal by Panarin. Knight wasn't paying attention. So Knight starts in the net, obviously. You're starting on the penalty kill, but as soon as they got the puck into the offensive zone, you would think Spencer Knight would rush right to the bench. But he wasn't paying attention, and the Florida bench was shouting incessantly at him for about 10 seconds before he finally realized, oh, I need to get to the bench. But by that point, there were only 50 seconds left in the period. You're not scoring 3 goals, 2 goals, 3 goals, whatever it was, in the less than a minute, even if you're the Florida Panthers. So the Rangers end up winning 5-2 and taking a win going into this 2-week break. The Rangers play 2 weeks from tonight. It's the makeup game against Detroit that was missed on December 27th. And that was a game that I was supposed to go to, and it got postponed. Unfortunately, it's a Tuesday night, but I don't care. I'll be tired at work on Wednesday. That's well worth it. So I will be at the game in 2 weeks, the makeup game against Detroit. Hopefully it's another win. I'm 2 for 2 with wins so far this season going to games. See if I can make it 3 for 3 in a couple weeks. Shots 35-36 in favor of the Rangers. So after being outshot 15-7 in the first period, they battle back over the course of the rest of the game and get within 1 shot of the Florida Panthers. Face-offs, sub 50%, classic Rangers. Power play 3 for 5 tonight. So power play still very, very hot. Hits 38-25 in favor of the Rangers. They need to keep playing that physically, because that was part of the reason they dropped those 2 games where they were leading by 2 goals. They just were not playing physically at all. They brought it back the second period, third period, and it shows on the hit stat. Blocks 14-16 in favor of Florida. There was no trivia question. Tonight's game was on ESPN+, and they don't do that. But I'm sure I wouldn't have known the answer, and some of you probably would have. A very exciting game. Happy with the outcome. I was honestly expecting a loss. Very happy with a win. That is the Rangers' 30th win of the season. So the Rangers now have 64 points on the season. Incredible, incredible season that they've had so far. 64 points. Only 13 regulation losses. This team is... There are some issues, so I won't say this team is amazing. There are some issues that need to be cleaned up. Maybe there's a new Ranger in 2 weeks when they play against Detroit. Maybe in the next 2 weeks they make that trade. We'll have to see what happens. Something has to give 5-on-5. They need to bring in somebody to help stimulate the 5-on-5 play. Maybe that happens soon. The All-Star weekend is this coming weekend, I believe, with the skill stuff Friday night and then the game Saturday. I believe that's the schedule. So no hockey for 2 weeks, so that'll kind of keep us satisfied during this long stretch. I'll probably tune in for a little bit. It's not the most exciting part of the season, but it is nice to see all the best players in the league kind of moving around, the camaraderie is nice to see. But if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next rundown.